Ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor of the University of Johannesburg welcomes you to this graduation ceremony. Due to security reasons, you are requested not to leave the auditorium before the end of the proceedings. Please note that photos and videos must be taken from your seats. Please do not get up and walk around inside the auditorium. As soon as the procession leaves the auditorium, you are requested to rise and remain standing until the procession and guests of honor have left the auditorium. A kind yet important request. Please only applaud after the student's name has been read out, and only applaud until the student has been capped, in order to give other graduates the opportunity to have an audible readout of their names. Please also note that no whistles are allowed for applause, only clapping of hands and ululating. A final request. If you have a cell phone in your possession, please switch it off or put it on silent. Ladies and gentlemen, the procession will now enter the auditorium. You are requested to rise and remain standing until the members of the procession have taken their seats.
University of Johannesburg. You may be seated. Good afternoon, Sanibonani, Dumelang, Goeiemiddag. On behalf of the University of Johannesburg, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our graduates and their guests to this graduation ceremony. In 1994, Mongane Wale Serote, a South African poet and a UJ honorary doctorate recipient, wrote, and I quote, "Come and hope with me." The title, I must admit, has felt somewhat ingrained in my mind as of late. The idea of hope has colored 2022. The weight of this is arguably best felt on an occasion such as today's. This, after all, represents our first cohort of in-person graduations in 2 years. A graduation ceremony is a rite of passage in your education journey. It is a symbol of change and a marker of progression. A return to in-person graduations is a welcome change from the digital and virtual versions we had in 2020 and 2021. It feels almost as an antithesis to the loss and anguish that has defined the last 2 years for many of you. The pandemic has been akin to a dark mark in our collective history. The invisible yet dangerous virus has been an ever-present threat that has characterized much of our lives for the last 2 years. A return to in-person graduations represents an important and exciting shift in this narrative. However, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that the future still seems uncertain, as the trajectory of the virus is difficult to project. Nonetheless, it is certainly an exciting development. In a recent address, UJ's Vice Chancellor, Professor Chalitsi Marwala, said, and I quote, "It is human nature, after all, to want to gather, to want to socialize, and to want to celebrate together. We are distinctly social animals, and our survival and our humanity is dependent on one another. It is the most enjoyable sigh of relief that we are once again able to embrace this facet of human nature." End of quote. This is the tone that I am certain will characterize the ceremony today and the celebrations beyond. You are now armed with a UJ qualification, which I must add is no easy feat, and the power of which we must not underestimate. We live in a fundamentally unequal society. In fact, South Africa is considered the most unequal society in the world, with race playing a strong determining factor. In March, this was once again confirmed by the World Bank. To be afforded the opportunity for education is still considered a privilege, though this should not be our reality. The grim truth is that many facets of our population are not afforded such opportunities. Last year, a report by the Department of Higher Education found that just 6% of South African population holds a degree. In our vast population, many do not make it to high school, let alone matric. You are among the lucky ones who could explore your dreams within these walls. More than that, you are among the strong-willed ones who made it through. This, I sincerely hope, is a legacy you carry with you. This is what we are gathered here today to honor: your success. Your achievements are indicative of the years you have spent mastering a subject, the countless hours tapping into the knowledge of some of the greatest minds in your field, and your thirst for excellence as you studied the learning material to reach this moment. This is truly an outstanding and landmark achievement. Today, we not only celebrate your accomplishment, we also pay tribute to parents, families, spouses, partners, and friends for their support, motivation, and love during your studies. We also thank our academic and support staff for their academic guidance and support. The time and sacrifices that you, your families, the university, and the state have invested in your education will now see you continue to grow professionally, intellectually, and as committed and respected citizens of our country and the wider global community. This moment marks more than simply the completion of a chapter. You graduate from a university at a significant time in history of higher education. It is through many of you that we have witnessed history in the making. You have brought to the fore the painful issues of transformation, decolonizing education, and equality for all. This has been further highlighted by the pandemic, which has certainly brought to the fore of conversation the impact of South Africa's ever-present and pervading digital divide. It is through this process that we have taken the opportunity to reflect on our curriculum, teaching and learning, research, and community engagement. We are proud of our record and status as one of the most transformed universities in the country. We provide access, as well as we witness today, consequentially, success. UJ has grown into a world-class, internationally recognized university with more than 50,000 students registered. Our global stature and academic depth and footprints are acknowledged by reputable higher education ranking systems in the world. You emerge today as the world, including us in South Africa, is in a period of deep change. The University of Johannesburg is leading the charge in the fourth industrial revolution and producing graduates who are agile, curious, and able to be active participants in a technology-driven and digital environment. Our objective is to empower you as leaders who are primed to face the challenges of 4IR and explore the opportunities that this new era presents, both locally and internationally. This is an exciting adventure. Let me assure you that the world you are entering is abundant with opportunities and, of course, challenges. The pandemic has ensured that this shift has been even more pronounced. Graduates and guests, may this graduation ceremony be a memorable moment of pride, joy, and hope in all of our lives. I thank you. Re a leboga, siyabonga, baie dankie. By virtue of the powers vested in me, I will now confer and award the respective qualifications on the candidates introduced to me by the Vice-Chancellor and to the candidates who are absent but who have complied with all the requirements for the qualifications. Vice-Chancellor, I now request you to introduce the candidates who complied with all the requirements for the respective qualifications.
Chancellor, I am honored to request you to award the higher certificate, Emergency Medical Care, on the following candidate. Wele Philip Mohale. Chancellor, I am honored to request you to award the Diploma Emergency Care on the following candidate, Justin Frederick Colbert. Dennis Ntokozo Dladla. Tebogo Stanley Molosi. Ria Leboga Melford Ndleleni. Matibita Johannes Siepa. Nomsa Treya Jere. Chancellor, I am honored to request you to award the National Diploma on the following candidates. Vuyelwa Paduza. Kabelo Ruth Chilwane. Kaelihle Big Boy Lloyd Kupega. Homotso Lebopa. Ntombizodwa Mabena. Priska Mansaki Nkwane. Mbali Mahlombe. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Baccalaureus Atiam Bachelor of Arts on the following candidates. Mahlori Praise Rebisi. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the bachelor's degree on the following candidates. Nazira Kasim Akob, Bachelor of Optometry. Zahira Asmal, cum laude. Amy Barnes. Humaira Bamji. Sarit Eliza Bregman, cum laude. Humaira Chibu. Mokovo Theodore Damari. Tasnim Essa. Taskin Farid. Kavishni Megan Govender. Fatima Hanan. Kesley Mishka Jones. Nasiha Yusuf. Kgolaganyo Kunou. Yasin Logat. Andrea Lippe. Donnelly Dovan Mackenzie. Moyahabo Alfred Machato. Rorisang Pel Malope. Mapule Paula Mangalane. Lerato Mariti. Paige Linden Mitri. Tato Mwekezi. Difedile Gertrude Nzolo. Stephanie Posthumous cum laude. Mpuetsi Sylvia Ramulashehi. Zainib Ravet. Marka Henriette Rothman. Mamelo Valencia Siema. Isao Khotitile Sillo. Timon Michan Shiba. Vutivi Vanessa Shibambu. Tasmia Teyop. Lehandri van Skalkwyk. Hariklia Zanakis. Chancellor, I am honored to request you to confer the degree Baccalaureus Curriculum on the following candidates. Mariam Bibi Kovadia. Dimakatso Tokwadi Matabane. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Bachelor of Health Sciences on the following candidates. Rasia Bomgat. Etienne Kutzer. Anim Daya. Radia Kankat. Michael David Himes. Mohammed Kadir Miafakir. Michaela Daniel Steele. Werno van Vollenhoven. Zek Eben Vermaak. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer that degree Baccalaureus Technologia on the following candidates. Nahid Begum Ali, cum laude. Zamacingwane Dlamini. Eliza Sepati Litomba. Mampo Daphne Mabaso. Matthews Sean Mabunda. Soli Matume Mahoro. Maradona Tusa Mohwasa. Ntabiseng Florence Mokutu. Nokuthula Gloria Mtshali. Samuel Chamala Mukendi. Courtney Elizabeth Kutsie. Sibusiso Brian Simelane. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Bachelors of Honors in Sports on the following candidates. Cara Nicole Boradiel. Priyanka Chetty. For both the Bachelor of Commerce obtained in 2019 and the Bachelor of Arts Honors obtained in 2020, Christelle Ethel Jade Codowell. We love her too. Letitia Rita Frosch. Nolwazi Nokwanda Felicia Hlatshwayo. Siobhan Monique Parker. Sean Oldknow. Jessica Allison Whelan. Bavik Hadio. Chancellor, I am honored to request you to confer the degree Further National Higher Diploma on the following candidates. Yvonne Bila. Mpokeleng Layeri. Margaret Ntudiseng Litlapi. Nhlamulo Nicolette Mashaba. Mamutupa Lydia Mbata. Nomvula El Simbokazi. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Baccalaureus Corotnits BK et Admin on the following candidates. Fikia Bangayongo. Ruth Chivura. Itumeleng Hemina Desri Dlamini. Pauline Dlamini. Petronil Khalani. Miojo Florence Khatwane. Matsidiso Miriam Khoza. Kiliboni Christina Lepunye. Mduduzi Emmanuel Mabaso. Sibongile Adelaide Maluleke. Tabile Patricia Maseko. Felicia Lindiwe Mashaba. Prudence Mutondi Mawela. Judith Hlengiwe Mkhize. Is it Priscilla?
Yeah, it's Priscilla Mlambo.
Okay. Angiboni
I bamlisile.
Mbali Priscilla Mlambo. Mogadi Aniki Modiba. Nomajama Lorraine Mukele. Bonisiwe Immaculate Mota. Mpiziseni Vivienne Mphaza. Tisiwa Otto Mofumadi. Roslyn Mukwidi, cum laude. You also going to say something? You see? Ulahlekile. Khanyisile Ndlovu. Avutiwi Esther Anastasia Ndo. Tumbezo Julia Nesamvuni. Haugile Nkosi. Sithembile Precious Ngobo. Nhlamulo Tracy Ngobeni. Abiola Amutat Oyedele. Lizeka Veronica Kakaza. Laura Sekwane. Kilebogile Precious Tsipu. Deliwe Mavis Tiantini. Griselda Leila van Bielen Mokota. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Masters of Public Health, MPH, on the following candidates. Sehlule Moyo. Mojabeng Dokas Senegal Ndebele. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Master of Nursing Science on the following candidates. Wendy Nomalungelo Taluza. Megan Joy Geldenees, cum laude. Kagiso Prince Tukisi, cum laude. Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer that degree Magister Technologia, MTech, on the following candidates. Susan Elizabeth Benadi. Kenneth Katleho Lehuite. Alistair Price Lynn. Nelitha Mini. Marius Louis Steenkamp. Mark Alfred van Dongen. Chancellor, I am honored to request you to confer that degree, Doctor of Nursing Sciences, Psychiatric Nursing, on the following candidate. Thank you. Andile Claudine Mokwena, who has complied with all requirements for that degree, Doctor of Nursing in Psychiatric Nursing, with a thesis entitled A Model for Psychiatric Nurses to Facilitate the Mental Health of Couples in Relationships Where One is Living with Borderline Personality Disorder, prepared under the supervision of Prof. M.A. Temane and co-supervisor Professor M. Bochenpoel and Dr. N. Jingila. I now request the supervisor to read out an abstract of the study.
Chancellor, couples in a relationship where one is living with borderline personality disorder daily experience challenges in a relationship. These include emotional upheaval, social role changes, interpersonal distance, and change in the relationship itself. The study aimed to develop, implement, and evaluate a model for psychiatric nurses to facilitate the mental health of these couples. The central concept, facilitation of constructive intra- and interpersonal relationships for the couples, was identified. This informed the development of the model. Implementation of the model was done by the psychiatric nurses with the couples. The evaluation of the model revealed that it was successful. The model was experienced as a helpful tool to empower the couples and offered an opportunity for the psychiatric nurses to grow professionally. The original contribution of this thesis was the development, implementation, and evaluation of the model.
Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor Nursing Science in Psychiatric Nursing on this candidate.
Powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor of Nursing Science in Psychiatric Nursing Science on Andile Gloden Mukwena.
Chancellor, I am honored to request you to confer degree Doctor of Philosophia, DPhil, on the following candidate. Donald Tsepiso Molefi Moletsi, who has complied with all the requirements for that degree, Doctor of Philosophia in Sports Management, with a thesis entitled Athlete, Agent, Agency in the South African Sport Industry, prepared under the supervision of Prof. W. Hollander. I now request the supervisor to read out an abstract of the study.
Chancellor, the candidate studied, debated, and integrated agency literature in a comprehensive way, summarizing the issues of agency in the sport performance sector of the sport industry from a normative principal-agent theory perspective. He followed a descriptive, explorative, research design, and sequential method approach to ascertain constructs and propositions that present realities and validated evidence of current trends and issues of the athlete-agent relationship in sport. This provided guidelines for the development of a framework describing the determinants of the athlete-agent relationship. Key findings indicate that athlete-agent agency in South Africa constitutes 9 principles, namely the athlete, the agent, the contractual relationship, communication, fiduciary relationship, a mentoring function, cooperation, information asymmetry, and a 3-way relationship between the athlete, the agent, and the sports organizations. This framework could not only assist sport policymakers and sport organizations to develop and sustain athlete-agent agency, but also all players and agents as practitioners in local, national, and global sport environments.
Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor of Philosophia in Sports Management on this candidate.
Before I confer the degree, Professor Wim Hollander, his supervisor, has been with UJ and Rao before then for almost 40 years. Over 40 years, Wim? This is the last graduation ceremony that he will have because he's retiring at the end of the year, and this is his last graduate, PhD graduate, that he will be part of as part of a graduation ceremony. Shall we give him a round of applause and thank you? By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Sport Management on Donald Tsepiso Molefe Moletsi.
Chancellor, I'm honored to request you to confer the degree Doctor Technologia, DTech, on the following candidates. Nyamutowa Laki Rachel Chipeya, who has complied with all the requirements for the degree Doctor Technologia in Radiography, with a thesis entitled Strategies to Facilitate Nuclear Medicine Radiographers' Practices in Myocardial Perfusion Image Quality, prepared under the supervision of Dr. M.S. Janse van Rensbeck and co-supervised Professor W.M.D. Vangu. I now request the co-supervisor to read out an abstract of the study.
Nuclear medicine radiographers are involved in myocardial perfusion imaging, a multi-step imaging procedure with complex reconstruction processes of image quality. Subsequently, nuclear medicine physicians are also involved in the processes of the image quality before the interpretation of the final sets of images. Due to the overlap in the involvement of the two professionals on the quality of images, inconsistencies exist between the different nuclear medicine departments. A parallel mixed method design, a conciliatory and pragmatic approach was adopted. Themes that emerged were management of myocardial perfusion image quality, challenges in processing and assessment of image quality, and interprofessional relationships. Statistical results revealed that nuclear medicine physicians concurred more among themselves than with nuclear medicine radiographers. The integrated results, thinking map, and a conceptual framework enabled the development of strategies to facilitate nuclear medicine radiographers' practices in myocardial perfusion image quality. And this is the original contribution to this study to radiography in nuclear medicine.
Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Radiography on this candidate.
Of the powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Radiography on Nyamatowa Lucky Rachel Chipeya.
Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting Zakira Delia, who has complied with all the requirements for the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology, with a thesis entitled Genotyping, Phenotyping, and Phylogenetic Classification of Environmental Isolate, E. coli Isolate, prepared under the supervision of Prof. T.G. Barnett and co-supervisor Dr. A. Singh. I now request the supervisor to read out an abstract of the study.
Chancellor, current water testing considers Escherichia coli or E. coli only as commensal and not as pathogenic bacteria, resulting in pathogenic E. coli going undetected. This creates the need for a method to faster isolate, screen, and describe E. coli to monitor for different pathotype and antibiotic-resistant profiles of the isolates. The current study developed a directed screening method to isolate and describe E. coli from water sources in terms of their genotypic, phenotypic, and phylogenetic grouping. Analysis of surface water samples collected around Johannesburg using the optimized methods was able to describe the E. coli pathotypes present, including the isolation of E. coli strains with virulent genes combinations not previously reported in South African water. The isolates showed the presence of multi-antibiotic resistance, as well as an understanding of potential contamination sources with a phylogenetic analysis. The data obtained assists with better understanding the E. coli population in water sources.
Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology on this candidate.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology on Zakira Dele.
Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting Olivia Mwamba, who has complied with all the requirements for the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology with a thesis entitled The Occurrence of Amoeba-Resistant Bacteria and Free-Living Amoeba in Samples from Wastewater Treatment Plant in Johannesburg, South Africa, prepared under the supervision of Dr. C. Bati and co-supervisor Prof. T.G. Barnard. I now request the co-supervisor to read out an abstract of the study.
Chancellor, the continued presence of free-living amoeba that harbor pathogenic amoeba-resistant bacteria is a concern internationally and is not investigated in South Africa currently. This could lead to the pathogenic bacteria bypassing the purification process and cause outbreaks of epidemics or lead to the infection among immune-compromised individuals. The study was carried out in one of 6 wastewater treatment plants in Johannesburg, Gauteng, to establish baseline data of amoeba-resistant bacteria and free-living amoeba in wastewater treatment processes, and to assess the effectiveness of the current processes to remove free-living amoeba and amoeba-resistant bacteria from the water before it leaves the plant. Both free-living amoeba and amoeba-resistant bacteria were isolated from all processes in the wastewater treatment plant, including the final effluent. It is therefore recommended that the presence of free-living amoeba and amoeba-resistant bacteria be included in the battery of tests used to monitor water safety and efficiency of treatment processes.
Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology on this candidate.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor Technologia in Biomedical Technology on Olivia Mwamba. Graduates, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be very far if I did not have a very good support system. So I now ask that you give your support system a round of applause. Graduates, today we welcome you as a new member of the global UJ alumni community. You are part of a worldwide body of professionals, many of whom are leaders in their fields who have fostered a close and valuable relationship with their alma mater. By staying actively engaged with UJ, you can make a real contribution financially and otherwise to our academic projects, which will go a long way in supporting those who study at UJ after you. The university is proud to call you one of us, and we hope to see you again when furthering your studies as an active alumni. Learning is a lifelong process and the key to reimagining the future. As we close today's ceremony, I am reminded of the words of the Nigerian poet Ben Okri, whose powerful words remind us to consider this the beginning of a new chapter. And I open quote, "They are only the exhausted who think that they have arrived at their final destination, the end of their road, with all of their dreams achieved and no new dreams to hold." End of quote. May this graduation ceremony mark the beginning of many new dreams for you. I thank you. Rea leboga, siyabonga.